Welcome to This Week in East Brunswick. Today we join Mayor Brad Cohn at Elite Fitness Alliance for the grand opening and ribbon-cutting ceremony. Then we welcome Al Nygren, the Executive Director and Curator of the New Jersey Film Festival, to the studio as he sits down with the director of the documentary film Work Songs in a Filmmaker interview. And we drop in on the East Brunswick Public Library for the 6th annual Hour of Code, which promotes computer science and technology for tweens and teens. All this and more, so stay with us. This Week in East Brunswick starts now.
So welcome everybody. I want to thank Brittany and welcome her to East Brunswick's business community now. We are thrilled to have another new store opening up in East Brunswick, and I think as most of you have probably noticed, as the changes have been occurring over the last 2 to 3 years out on our 18 business corridor and the businesses that have moved into town, they are primarily entertainment and activities that you must get out of your house to do. Most of you recognize that business has changed today, and a lot of the businesses that existed before have now all moved to online type of modalities. So we're thrilled that companies such as yours, small businesses such as yours, which is still the backbone of this country, are looking at East Brunswick as an area of opportunity. And it gets people out of the house doing something good. I see tons of activities like this being done in town, so I expect everybody to be skinny and in great shape. Absolutely. What I'd like you to do, if you can, is just to tell everybody the nature of the type of business Elite is, where you're located, hours, and maybe some features or things that you do here that would distinguish you from some of the other similar type of stores here in town. Sure. Thanks.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Brittany Fadoon. I am the owner of Elite Fitness Alliance. We are located at 11 Harts Lane, Suite A, East Brunswick, New Jersey. Right now, what we do is small group training sessions. So every session that I lead here is instructor-led. The class sizes are limited, so there are 15 people or less in each session. That way you get personalized attention, and we can actually progress our training methods and styles. We do strength training. We do endurance and conditioning training. The sessions are never the same. While you might find some of the same exercises from session to session, you'll always be working out something different. And we also build a nice community that way as well. You really enjoy when you come to the session, you see some of the same people that you work out with day in and day out, and you really build the relationships there. So thank you very much. I think that what makes us different from a lot of the other, gyms or options that might be in town is the personalized attention. You're not going to be in a class with, 50 people. You're going to have an instructor-led class where you're getting the attention that you need. It's safer. You'll progress better and faster, and you'll enjoy it overall a little bit more. So I do have my memberships here in studio at Elite Fitness Alliance, but I also have a Facebook group. It's a private group, so if you want to join it, you can request to join, but I like to post some, just motivational posts and also some workouts that you can do online. You can watch a video yourself, you could do it at your leisure, but it provides another option if you're not able to come to the studio or if you just need a little bit of motivation at home. And then that community has actually built itself as well. People will also post in the group, and they kind of motivate each other and uplift each other in it, and that was really the point. I wanted to have a place where people could come, see pictures, see videos, spend time talking back and forth, sharing experiences, maybe even sharing challenges and how they get through them. East Brunswick has been very good to me. I have to say, about 2.5 years ago, I met a group of people at the East Brunswick Public Library just for some general networking, and the idea of a chamber was born. The mayor had thought it was a good time to start a chamber in East Brunswick again, and I was asked to be on the board and to be the treasurer of the chamber. And so at the time, I don't think I really realized what that meant. who I was going to meet or what opportunities it was going to open up for me. But through those relationships and through the networking and the educational activities and everything that we've done, through the chamber, through the community, the relationships that we've built, it's really meant a lot to me personally and in business. If you look around just even today, all the people who showed up here, it's a direct result of my involvement in the community, the relationships that I've built, the people who are so great supporting me and uplifting me in all of my endeavors and my journey.
Brittany, I want to congratulate you on opening up this business, and it's great to see a woman doing this. I think that one of the things that attracted me to seeing what you're doing at Elite Fitness is that you yourself are in great shape. You have your jacket on, but everybody, I think your mom was just saying that you well, it's the best advertisement because you're in such great shape. And you have St. Peter's here today also, so your focus is on overall health and fitness. And with diabetes being such a big issue for people, it's really important for people to get back to health. So you're the perfect example. You're energetic, and you have a business doing accounting as well, so you really have the whole package. So we congratulate you for doing that.
Hello everyone, it's Al Nygren, Executive Director and Curator of the New Jersey Film Festival, back with another group of filmmaker interviews that we will share with you. But before I introduce our first guest, I would love to tell you about our film festival, which is now in its 38th year. It's a biannual film festival, and the New Jersey Film Festival has been showing films since 1982. The Spring 2020 New Jersey Film Festival will be taking place on select Friday, Saturday, and Sunday evenings from January 25 to February 28. And we have 27 wonderful films that were selected from 611 entries from around the world. And so we'll be screening the creme de la creme between those dates. Today, we have a wonderful filmmaker who I met back in 1986 at the San Francisco Art Institute. We both were showing our movies at the same time, so it was a purely coincidence that Mark Street is here to talk about his wonderful documentary film called Work Songs. Welcome, Mark.
Nice to be here.
See you again.
Nice to see you.
So tell us what the motivation for making this documentary was.
Well, I've always been interested in work. I made a film called Fulton Fish Market in 2000, the last days of the Fulton Fish Market there in Manhattan. I made a film called Lima Limpia, about street sweepers in Lima, in Peru. I made a film called Happy, which is a remake of The Pretty Month of May by Chris Marker, where I interviewed people on the street in New York, asking them if they were happy. And a lot of them are workers, UPS drivers, and people out on the street working. So I've always sort of observed work and enjoyed its sort of balletic visual aspects. And in this case, I wanted to go a little deeper. Studs Terkel was sort of my North Star in this one. I read that when it came out in the 70s. I remember my parents reading it. And I reread it, and it really holds up. His sort of style of interviewing, his way of letting people speak, and things like that. So I just, started small, interviewing people, let the thing sort of build on itself, and tried to find as many varied stories and narratives as I could in people's work, daily work.
Yeah, I mean, your film is a lot like a quilt. And there are so many different components. You interview a UPS driver again, but from a contemporary standpoint, you interview waterfront workers in Pittsburgh. We jet from LA to San Francisco to Seattle and to North Carolina, Virginia, Pittsburgh, New York City. And as I was watching your film, and as I mentioned to you before, I saw it very much focusing as a worker, as an artist, almost as a craftsman, but craftsmen as artists. Did you see it that way as well?
Yeah, I really felt like these people had stories, you know, and if there's one sort of takeaway that I hope people get, it's to sort of, you know, consider what people are doing as we move through the world. A lot of people are you know, sort of invisible to us, obviously waiters and people who are out in the street or whatever, and just sort of consider what narratives accrue around what people do for a living. I remember when I was a kid, middle-class kids worked more than they do now. They're all doing soccer and studying for the SAT and things. But those stories I had, you know, personally, as a bar back at 16 in Beloit, Wisconsin, and as a, you know, fry cook, 10 o'clock at night to 6 in the morning in a gap year. Of course, gap year was not a gap year. It was called not knowing what you're doing back then. But those were really important to me, you know, more important to me than what I was learning in school in some way. There was a whole sort of psychological complexity to the characters one encounters in the workday. So I was really trying to get at that.
Yeah, and I think you do a masterful job. I really see so many other films that could come out of each one of these stories. I mean, The Farmer from Virginia, that could be a film by itself. I mean, there's so much to be explored in the stories of this farmer and how he's had to transition over the last 30 years. I thought that was fascinating. But I also really, really liked the fact that you kind of do something similar to your Happy movie, where you ask about these people's weirdest stories. And was that something that was premeditated? Did you ask that to each one of these people, or?
I pretty much did. I mean, to me, it's great dinner table conversation for the reasons I mentioned earlier. You know, you sit around a table and you say, what's the weirdest thing you've ever done for a living? People can talk for hours.
Yeah,
Everybody's got some strange experience.
Yeah, some of them were, you had to kind of take a shower after you, you heard them. But I really liked that. And so I think, in watching your film, I wondered why you ended the shot. There was one shot at the end of the film, without giving anything away, is a fellow who's carting off these boxes. Why end the film there?
Well, the end of the film, I'll give it away, is a sort of more observational section in a factory in North Carolina. And I sort of wanted to trace the factory from beginning of the day to the end. And I just sort of felt like him moving into the distance at the end of the day is the end of the day.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. At first when I saw it, I said, I thought maybe you should end with the gal talking about the colors, but then, now that you say it, it makes perfect sense. Well, folks, you absolutely must see this wonderful, wonderful film. We are going to be screening it on Saturday, January 25th, and it will be playing with another short film that has work in the title. It's called Textile Workers by Andrea Nappi and Juno Room. It's a kind of music video which was shot on film, scratched on film. It's a fantasy. It's really quite beautiful, and I think the perfect marriage between Mark's film and theirs. They're both going to be on hand to do a Q&A afterward. That's one of the wonderful things about our festival, is that many of the artists come and discuss their work with the audience, and that way that kind of wall between the artist and the audience drops. And there's usually a lot of scintillating questions, so I'm excited to see you guys there. So that's on Saturday, January 25th at 7 p.m., and that's going to be in Voorhees Hall, room 105, which is our state-of-the-art facility. It features high-definition projection, a nice sound system, stadium seating, cushy chairs, and graded so nobody gets in your way. And it seats about 250 people. It's at 71 Hamilton Street in New Brunswick, New Jersey, on the Rutgers campus. We're a block away from the New Brunswick train station. And general admission is $12. $10 for students and seniors, and if you want to buy tickets in advance, they're $14. So come and join us, and come meet Mark Street, a wonderful filmmaker and wonderful guy.
Is it a good job?
It is. The guy I work for now is a real good guy. The industry's changed a lot over the years.
How's it changed?
For the worse.
Yeah.
There was a time as a Chevron driver making oodles and oodles of money, and then they got rid of us and went to the carrier. So work is, this job originally started out at about $30 an hour and went all the way back down to about 18 in 2000, and now it's back up to about 27. So it's gone through some change for sure.
Who do you blame for the bad change, bad fortune? The economy?
Yeah.
Are you union or no?
Used to be. Used to be. Chevron was union at one time, but not anymore. Most of the unions are a thing of the past.
Hi, I'm Jessica Schneider, the teen librarian here at the East Brunswick Public Library. Tonight is our 6th annual Hour of Code event. It's a big after-hours program that we run with the Code Club from the East Brunswick High School. So this year we have a 3D printer station out, which is really great because it helps us to showcase our brand new 3D printer that we have at the library now. We've also pulled out the Oculus Rift for a virtual reality station. We also have a big programming competition in the computer lab, which is the first time we're ever doing this. So it's a coding competition in JavaScript, and the participants have the opportunity to win a programmable drone. I think it's really great that we have the opportunity to put on a big event like this. It showcases the kinds of things that the library has, the resources that the library has available to the community. It's great for people who have all levels of technology abilities, okay? So maybe you know nothing about coding, you can come here and start learning something and get really interested and decide you really like computer science. Or if you have been working with computer science for a long time, maybe you're learning something new, or maybe you're participating in our new competitions just to get a little bit better at what you're doing, and to also learn more about the computer science field. So we had a guest speaker here today from Google who used to be a East Brunswick high school graduate. And so she's able to talk to the teens here about potential careers and what it's like to work in the computer science field. So I think it's a really great opportunity for everyone to learn from all different levels. There's definitely a lot more girls here, women teens, which we love to see. It's really important to encourage women in the computer science field. There's not many of them, and we work really hard here at the library to encourage any interest for women in computer science. We already have a Girls Who Code club for 3rd through 5th graders, and I know that shortly in the coming year we're going to start another Girls Who Code club for 6th through 12th graders. It's really to get women more comfortable in the computer science field and to encourage them to go into that field in the future for their careers. My favorite part about this is always just watching it come together. The Code Club does a lot of work planning the different events that they're going to have. It's always a little hectic, a little nerve-wracking in the beginning, but it's really great to see it all come together and see all the hard work that they put into it pay off. Every year in December, the library does Tech Week, so we have different events throughout the week for teens, kids, and adults, and Hour of Code is usually our big event, our culminating event at the end. So if you're interested in more things like this, check the library calendar. We usually have lots of different tech programs for teens or other ages. And if you're interested in helping to run this event in the future, I definitely recommend, if you're in the high school, to get involved with the Code Club at the East Brunswick High School.
Hello, everyone. It's Al Nygren, Executive Director and Curator of the New Jersey Film Festival, here to give you an overview of the upcoming New Jersey Film Festival Spring 2020 season. The New Jersey Film Festival is in its 38th year. It's a biannual festival, and we're aligned with the Rutgers University calendar. We're going to be showing over 40 movies, and the festival begins on Saturday, January 25th, and runs on select Friday, Saturday, and Sunday evenings through February 28th. There's 2 free screenings courtesy of the Confucius Institute at Rutgers University, 2 Chinese language films. That'll be on February 21st and February 28th. And if you want to check out the lineup and get descriptions for all the films, you can do that by going to our website, which is njfilmfest.com. We also have a hotline phone number. That's 848-932-8482. And we usually have a message on there telling you what's playing each weekend. Here's what we're going to be showing. On Saturday, January 25th, a double bill of films about work. The first is called Textile Workers by Andrea Nappi and Juno Room. They're from Queens, New York. It's a very beautiful experimental film, and both filmmakers will be there to do a Q&A session after the movie. The feature film that evening is by Mark Street. It's called Work Songs. He lives in Brooklyn, New York, and Mark will be our first visiting filmmaker here to do an interview on EBTV, and that'll be coming up in the next week or so. Then on Sunday, January 26th, we'll be screening the short film by James Reese and Jay Thomas that's entitled For Hope. It's shot in Kentucky and is about an autistic young girl who's dealing with lots of personal issues and problems within the family. We'll have James and Jay here to do a filmmaker interview too in a couple of weeks. And the feature film that evening is called Bleed American by Trey Manchester. And it focuses on a young brother who's got to take care of the family after the mother is hospitalized. That film is also taking place in Middle America. And this program is being co-sponsored by the Rutgers University American Studies Department, as well as the Rutgers University Office of Disability Services. Then on Friday, January 31st, our first program of shorts called Super Shorts 1. We have films by Benjamin Ridgway, Ki Ziwi, Vasilos Papinayou, Vasco Diogo, George Nicholas, Daria Kasheva, Quinn Turan, and Nadia Boya. You can check out all the descriptions for these short films at our website. The Green Dreams by Quinn Turan and Nadia Boya is the longest of the bunch, and they'll be there to do a Q&A, as well as director Vasilos Papinayou. His film, 2, is a really beautiful experimental film. There's also a series of experimental films shown that evening. Check them out on our website at njfilmfest.com. Then on Saturday, February 1, we have a film that has an expletive as the title. It starts with an F, so you'll know what it is. This one is directed by Vern Haas. It's an absolutely hysterical short film about a female college student's sexual trials and tribulations and revelations during her first year in college. It's the perfect film for a Rutgers University student. Then we have an amazing, amazing film called A Seahorse Trainer by Riccardo Bonisoli and Babak Bina. They're from Vancouver, Canada. And this is a really amazing surrealist film. The feature film is directed by Robert Ripberger. It's called Strive. It stars Danny Glover, and it focuses on Kalani, who's a teenager living in Harlem with her older brother, and how she has to get through going through this school where she's looked down upon by her classmates. A really amazing film. This program is co-sponsored by the Rutgers University Cinema Studies program. Then on Friday, February 7th, 3 films that are interconnected. Diwali by Etienne Labouze. Etienne will be here to do the 3rd and final filmmaker interview that we'll be offering. It's a kind of film poem that he shot in India. L'eau et la vie, Water is Life, From Standing Rock to the Swamp is an environmental documentary by Sam Vinal. He's from Los Angeles. The 12,000 by Eric Davis and Randy Watson. They're from British Columbia, Canada. Focuses on the true story of a young woman who survived the brutal sex trafficking trade that exists on the border between Nepal and India. This program is going to feature 2 visiting artists doing a Q&A afterward, and is being sponsored by the Rutgers University Department of African, Middle Eastern, and Southern Asian Languages and Literatures Department. We call it AMISOL, and thank you to them for their co-sponsorship. Then on Saturday, February 8th, our Super Shorts 2 program, another series of shorts. We've got a lot of really great shorts. We selected 27 films out of 611 entries from around the world. These short films feature Lab Dog by Nomi Durivu, about a young boy or young man who saves a beagle from a lab. And a really amazing and wonderful, very, very moving film. A Missing Piece by Grace Chang is another great film by Grace Chang, who's a very famous actress. And this one is being co-sponsored by the Rutgers University Cinema Studies Program and the Confucius Institute. We also have The Quiet Pain by Timothy Amatuli. He's from Glen Rock, New Jersey. And 1,000 Cranes by Leonard Chan. Another Round by Brandon Regina from New York, New York. Check out the descriptions at our website at njfilmfest.com. Rounding the bend on our program, our festival, Saturday, February 15th, a really great short film called Bayora, the Flamingo Dancer, is the translation, by Ruben Stein from Madrid, Spain. And then Pacrete by Alan de Berton. He's from Brazil, and his film focuses on an aging ballet dancer. It's a really, really wonderful film, very colorful, and stars Marciela Carataxo, who won Best Actress prize at the Berlin Film Festival. This one is being co-sponsored by the Rutgers University Spanish and Portuguese Department. Both films are in their original languages in Spanish and Portuguese. Sunday, February 16th, two great films that have a connection. Anne is by Vijay Ranga. He's from New Hampshire. It's a musical take on the love story inspired by the Anne Frank's diary. And Tevia's Daughters by Vladimir Lert. He's from Ukraine, and his film is a retelling of Shalom Alechem's very famous character of Tevye the dairyman. Most people know that story as Fiddler on the Roof. This one was set in Ukraine with actors from the region in its original language, in Russian and Ukrainian. And this one is being co-sponsored by the Rutgers University Department of German, Russian, and Eastern European Languages and Literatures. That's on February 16th. I mentioned the two free screenings on the 21st and 28th. And then on the 22nd and 23rd, we do the United States Super 8 Film and Digital Video Festival, which is in its, oh gosh, I can't remember, 32nd year. It's a smaller festival within the larger one. We are promoting Super 8 films, the old amateur format, and people are still making films, artistic films on that format, and we'll be premiering those movies on the 22nd and 23rd of February. If you need further information about our program and our festival, you can do that at our website, which is njfilmfest.com, and look for our filmmaker interviews in the coming weeks. Have a great day.